All right, in the last couple of days, Candace Owens has been revisiting a lot of this stuff having to do with Charlie Kirk and the Mike situation. Possibly, I don't want to say the word, but I wanted to revisit this also because a lot of new things have come up since then. So I'm just going to play this and we're going to go from there.
That the 30-6, which would have decapitated Charlie, did not go through. Also, it would explain why there was unusually no ambulance on standby. I always had an ambulance on standby at my Turning Point USA events when I toured. This is an anomaly.
So right here, I didn't hear this or know this at first. We all know that Candace Owens has been touring with Charlie Kirk, until she got pushed away. But I didn't know that on a normal basis, on every tour, Candace Owens was easily able to know or be aware of there being an ambulance on site. I didn't know that because anybody that has a large tour with over 1,000 people, you're supposed to have an ambulance on site, right? But sometimes people or companies or organizations, they might want to cut corners, save money, be neglectful, and just say, who cares? Let's just do it. But no, this was not the case in this Charlie Kirk situation, because that's what I thought. I'm thinking like maybe they're just stupid and they're just dummies and they just don't think to do certain things. But no, they thought to do it. So if they had, and there's other things they had also, but if they had an ambulance on site at every time they did one of these tours, and this one tour they did not have an ambulance on site, this is literally saying that this was intentional. So let's keep going. And everybody hit the like button, everybody hit the hype button, and drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. So this part right here is absolutely crazy. I didn't know that there was always an ambulance on site on prior tours.
Go through. Also, it would explain why there was unusually no ambulance on standby. I always had an ambulance on standby at my Turning Point USA events when I toured. This is an anomaly because, well, the paramedics would have seen the shattered road mic pieces and all of the other evidence which did not support a gunshot wound.
And that other part right there, this is another thing that I didn't think about. One, not having an ambulance on site, which is, something that we all knew, but it was strange. But then when you look at the actual road mic, it was, I think I got it. I'll look for it if I need to, but there was pieces of the road mic laying on the floor of the SUV that Charlie Kirk was in. So if you have seen a road mic, it's just a small little mic. I think she's going to show it in this video. How in the world can a road mic be in pieces where he was just shot in the neck? So just think about this. This is the remote control. And say I got shot right now. Bow. And then I'm laying on the ground, right? And then you see this remote be in pieces. When you ask yourself, like, what happened to the remote? Like, how can the remote get hit when I got hit? And it was one assumed gunshot. How can this piece of plastic be in multiple pieces? What the hell happened to the plastic? Because no matter what I do, I can bang it against the table. But other than banging it against the table, how can this be in pieces if it wasn't shot? So that's another thing that I didn't think about. There's a possibility. Well, the possibility is now becoming almost a fact. This that was up under his shirt most likely exploded. And that's the reason why it was in pieces. And mind you, a lot of these things, some of us already know, but it's coming together a little bit better now. And I'm starting to see things differently, because at first, all of this information, no matter what it is, it was just all over the place, because we were like, oh, look at the hand size. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at that. Now, after having time to put everything together, because if you've been watching my channel, I've mainly been talking about the trafficking stuff, the child stuff, right? But I didn't really pay a lot of attention to the road mic situation, because everybody else was talking about it. So somebody wants me to play a Hit the Like Button song. I'm gonna play a piece of it right here.
Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button.
All right, I'll play more of it in a second. But yeah, so I'm glad Candace is revisiting this, because it's bringing a lot more together, because it was so many different stories connected to this. So let's keep going. And everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button.
Scattered road mic pieces and all of the other evidence which did not support a gunshot wound would be the reason why you would just have his security team transport him under this theory. Again, we're thinking while it's still legal to do so. Lastly, it would go some way of explaining why Erika was quick to forgive Tyler Robinson before the world, quicker than she was able to forgive Drewski when she came out weeks later looking like an assassin and saying that she was so angry at Drewski, much more angry than she was at Tyler Robinson. So bizarre. Well, it's easy to forgive someone if you maybe know they didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I could probably forgive someone who didn't do something to me either.
Right.
We are referring to Charlie's wireless microphone, not the handheld. Here it is again, that black squared Rode Mic Pro.
So right here, how in the world can this Rode mic be shattered into pieces when there was only one alleged gunshot, and the gunshot, which wasn't a gunshot, we all know this already, hit him in the throat? What hit the Rode mic? See, the smaller and more compact something is, like I said, I could bang this against the table, right? But this remote, as an example, okay? This is about the size of the Rode mic. Do you agree? If I bang this against the table, nothing is going to happen. You can't shatter something this small unless it actually gets hit by a bullet or explodes. So no matter what I do to this one little small thing right here, I can beat it against the table. I can hit it with something. It's not going to shatter in pieces. It might break. A piece might fall off, but it's not going to shatter in pieces. So that right there shows you, or there's more proof of our old theory that something exploded, because this can't shatter into pieces randomly and unintentionally, because it's too small.
It does also feature recording capability, and it also has a magnetic clasp, which holds it onto your shirt, the other side of your shirt. And here is how they put it onto Charlie on September 10th. So they have the magnetic clasp on the outside and yet the Rode mic on the inside. Now, if you are trying to get a clear and crisp audio, you do not place it on the inside of someone's shirt.
Guess what? I didn't think about this either. The Rode mic was upside down under his shirt. And I'm sitting here thinking, even the guys that were doing the theories of, things exploding or whatever, I don't think anybody even caught that either. I might be wrong, but when y'all were looking at all these different videos from different people, do y'all remember somebody bringing this up? The fact that it was upside down under his shirt. Why was the metal clasp showing and not the actual Rode mic? I didn't even think about that either. So let's keep going. Everybody hit the like button. What's going on? All right, here we go.
Examine the question, is this how they just had always done it? Were they always just, incompetent? Well,
No.
We had some time, ladies and gentlemen, and I told you the very first tour stop where I saw that as a new feature was the first tour, the first college campus tour, where I was not featured alongside Charlie Kirk due to the Zionist peer pressure, the external Zionist peer pressure. Since me leaving the Daily Wire, it extended to Charlie Kirk. They didn't want him associating with me anymore. And that is when, it seems, the team began to introduce the redundancy of the wireless Rode mic. Again, that was also admitted to me by Terrell Farnsworth on the phone. So that's not imagined. That's not to say that there wasn't, some random one-off event where he had that redundancy, but as a rule, this is not something that Charlie had. He just kept his handheld. September 5th, the University of Wisconsin in Madison. He had no mic. On September 11th, University of North Texas, he has the mic. There we go. But you can see it's on the outside of his shirt because that makes sense.
So this isn't new information, but this is new perspective. This is new focus. And before she keeps going, I want to share something else also. So I'm gonna play a little farther. I'm gonna go a little farther, and then I want to play something else. But do y'all see how simple this is? The Rode mic has to be on the outside of the shirt and not the inside of the damn shirt.
On September 18th, he was at the University of Pittsburgh. Again, Charlie has it on the outside of his shirt. That makes sense.
And as you can see, it's not a Rode mic. It's a different type of mic. So the thing about it is, when you look at the type of mic, that's an issue also, because it seems like they're using a particular type of mic, right? And they trust this particular type of mic because they keep using it. But then come to the UVU campus, there's a totally different type of mic. And this says something. Why did they switch mics? Because there's a possibility that it was not a mic.
Suddenly on October 8th, the University of Nevada in Reno, Charlie has it on the inside of his shirt.
Look at that. This shit don't even make no sense.
It's on the inside of his shirt. On October 30th, it's on the inside of his shirt. This is that expression that I said to you that we use here in the States called boiling the frog slowly, right? Introducing something new so he doesn't really recognize it, and then changing one thing, getting him adapted to it so he doesn't really ask questions.
And releases proof, Eric.
So now let's look at what the mic may have been. Some of you know this, some of you have not. Think about this right here.
Iran releases proof Erika Kirk Charlie as part of Israel's coup of America. Erika Kirk has been a Mossad agent for years. Hacked Israeli intelligence files reveals that Erika is a professional honeypot tasked with infiltrating and compromising the United States conservative movement from the inside. The files expose a multi-year operation to smuggle her way into the White House. J.D. Vance would become the president, and then he gets to pick a vice president, and he would pick Erika Kirk. J.D. Vance would be Charlie Kirk, and Erika Kirk would become president without ever having need a vote.
That is a
crazy scenario.
Oh my gosh. Dude, that would be crazy.
That'd be scary.
That would be scary.
I'd be like, I guess we gotta go delete all our videos.
Oh my God.
This is what we've pieced together from the emails and other intelligence sources. Charlie Kirk was never shot with a bullet. He was accidentally decapitated by a piece of shrapnel from a miniature explosive planted inside his microphone. The device was supposed to blow out his chest cavity, but the explosive malfunctioned. Instead of detonating downward, it ripped upward and took his neck. That is why security immediately ripped every device off the stage. That is why the security camera behind Charlie was yanked from the wall on live feed. That is why they literally stole his body from the scene before the coroner could arrive. That is why Netanyahu went on television within minutes to say it wasn't Israel.
And this is why there was not an ambulance on site.
Before anyone had even asked. That is why the FBI took forever to find the killer. They had to rush manufacture evidence to match the lie.
He also dropped a bombshell. Patel and Dan Bongino may have sacrificed American lives to cover up the crime of the century.
The explosive itself was purchased in May 2025 from the Accurate Energetic Systems plant in Tennessee. There is a strong evidence suggesting the same device was tested at Fort Huachuca in the days leading up to the event. That's why there were shards of glass all over the floor of the van they hauled Charlie away in. That's why they poured several feet of concrete over the murder scene the same night.
It wasn't the same night, but it was a call, and the guy said, "We have an emergency and we need somebody out here immediately to repave everything." And the dude was like, "Why? Like, what? Why is this an emergency? I'll do it Monday." And they said, "No, we need you to do it Saturday. No, Sunday, because he died Saturday and they repaved everything Sunday." So I think it was the next day or 2 days. I think it was the next day, because I'm quite sure this happened on a Saturday. Y'all let me know if I'm wrong.
1 month later, they blew up the plant in Tennessee and called it an accident. 16 American.
I need y'all in the comments not to say certain things, okay? So I'm gonna delete this comment. So stop saying crazy shit in the comments about the country, and just don't say nothing about violence. All right, so just don't say nothing crazy in the chat.
Died in the blast. That's how paranoid they were about the truth getting out.
All right, hold on. I interrupted this, so let me back it up a little bit because this part is important.
A month later, they blew up the plant in Tennessee and
They blew up the plant in Tennessee.
poured several feet of concrete over the murder scene the same night. 1 month later, they blew up the plant in Tennessee and called it an accident. 16 Americans died in the blast.
So they blew up not a random plant, the plant that actually manufactured the road mic that wasn't a road mic. The plant that manufactured that entire plant blew up in Tennessee and 16 people died.
That's how paranoid they were about the truth getting out.
Analysts who've gone through the full archive say the plotters actually deliberated between taking out Tucker Carlson or Charlie Kirk. In the end, they chose Charlie, because he was deemed more dangerous to Netanyahu's plans. The war with Iran would have been politically impossible if Charlie Kirk had still been alive. Take a moment and go back and watch the old clips of Charlie publicly congratulating Trump for refusing to start a war with Iran. He praised him for staying out of another Middle East regime change war. Now look at what happened after Charlie was gone. Everything changed. According to Iran, there's one little known fact that ties it all together.
The same month Charlie Kirk died, Pete Hegseth bought $2 million worth of lobster and crab for the troops, and the US military spent $300 billion in a single month, the most it has ever spent.
And the reason why Pete Hegseth did that is because this is somewhat of a ritual, and it lets the people in the military know that we're feeding you lobster and steak for what? Why? Let me ask y'all first. Why is the military getting fed lobster and steak? Just want to know. Does anybody know? What does this signify? When they feed the military lobster and steak, what is about to happen next? Does anybody in the chat know? It's a ritual. Sounds like the last meal. In a way, yes, but what does it symbolize? It's not this. It could be your last meal, yes, but what does it symbolize? Stop saying last meal. Going to war, deployment, yes. It means that it could be your last meal, but it means they are about to get deployed, okay? We're about to go back to war. That's what it means, okay? And it also could mean this could be your last meal also, all right? But it symbolizes we're about to go to war. So what does this have to do with Charlie Kirk in particular? You know, the last meal. Well, it's simple. Charlie Kirk was extremely adamant about not going to war with Iran. I'll say it again. Charlie Kirk, who had the ears, hearts, and attention of millions of people, young people in particular, he was extremely adamant about not going to war with Iran. So the second Charlie Kirk died, Pete Hegseth, in my opinion, may have had something to do with this, because who was the main person that wanted to go to war so badly? It was Pete Hegseth. And we all know Donald Trump is an idiot, and he doesn't really, I don't even think he has a lot of motor skills, because I think he's 80 years old now, 82 or something like that. Peter Hegseth is the main person, one of the main people, along with BB, who wanted to go to war. And Charlie Kirk was possibly his arch enemy. So they went and got this plant. Went to the plant and ordered these road mics that weren't necessarily road mics. And we're going to talk about how they were planted on Charlie Kirk. He dies. And next thing you know, everybody celebrates because now they can go to war without anybody saying anything publicly about them going to war.
They were already planning the war. The Iran war literally started the day he died. Charlie Kirk was its first casualty.
Because the main reason why they got rid of Charlie Kirk, in my opinion, is because of the Iran war and not because of anything else. That was the main reason. There was secondary and third reasons, but that was the main reason.
I was sent this by a few people. Charlie Kirk was killed with a miniature explosive, likely made at Accurate Energetic Systems in Tennessee and purchased by the DoD for $425K in May of 2025. You can bet Steve Feinberg was involved in the planning of his public assassination. Well, I pulled all of Accurate Energy Systems contracts from usaspending.gov, and I found this one. This one, the address is in Tennessee. It is for miniature XS demolition devices, anti-personnel, SPM. That's what caught my attention. We're going to come back to that. The amount is $440,494. The procurement period, May of 2025 to August of 2025. So I went and looked up all other procurements because as
y'all hear that, right? August of 2025.
Somebody who has done DoD procurements before, that was a really odd amount of time. None of Accurate Energy Systems procurements were less than a year.
Somebody said this is what Candace has been saying. No, this is what we have been saying. I'm glad, and a lot of us are glad that Candace is now talking about this. We were talking about this, not Candace. So I appreciate Candace for finally talking about this, because this part is a huge aspect of this whole thing. So Candace wasn't talking about this. We were talking about this, because I'm the first person that talked about it possibly being an air actuated pellet discharger. So I didn't look at it as something exploded. I looked at it as something discharged out of his throat and just like pop. So I was saying that it was something like this, smaller than this, of course, and it was in his shirt right here, and it shot a pellet up to his throat right here. So I was talking about that, and everybody else was talking about, mics exploding and stuff like that. But Candace was not talking about this, but she's now talking about this, which I appreciate, because now it adds more credence to what we've been talking about. All right. So shout out to Valhalla, shout out to Jesse on Fire, shout out to Baron, shout out to Danks, shout out to Trigger Smart. A lot of us have been talking about this particular aspect, and so shout out to Candace, but we started talking about this first.
Except for this one, because that's not how they procure things. I went and did more digging. The contract was signed on April 22nd, 2025. A lot of weird things about this procurement.
So in April, they signed the procurement back in April. That's May, June, July, August, September. That's 5 months before Charlie Kirk passed away. So this plan was started in April. Actually, no. Listen to this. And everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. We're about to go down a rabbit hole that we went down before, but a lot of people forgot.
Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button.
All right, so check this out. Some of y'all may not remember this. Shout out to Alley Top Files for reminding me about this video here.
I've known Charlie Kirk for a number of years. Him and I have communicated.
So this right here, I think was from December of 2024. So now we're about to go back to 2024 because I want to show you how long ago this actually happened. This was in December. Listen.
I have known Charlie Kirk for a number of years. Him and I have communicated over the years extensively, from everything from politics to girls.
Let me stop you for 1 second. I just want to make you aware that I do record all my calls. If you would ask me to keep you
I was hoping you would. That's fine. And so anyway, over the years, I'll just give you a little background who I am. I'm part of the original crew of Oath Keepers, okay, dating back to 2009. And I first met Charlie in 2011 when he was just a kid. I think he was like 16.
So Oath Keepers is the organization he's a part of. So keep that in mind. Oath Keepers.
15, 16. I met his dad, and
he knew Charlie since he was 15 to 16.
Anyway, in Quartzsite, Arizona. It was the Quartzsite Liberty Festival in Arizona in 2011, in August of 2011. It was quite hot down there, 117 degrees. But there was an issue down there, and so I put on a rally down there and had several dignitaries there, state senators and so forth, a candidate for governor at the time, Barry Hess, and different things. And anyway, that's how him and I met. So over the years, we communicated, via text, via social media and stuff like that. And
hold on real quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
This just in, a new way of healing is sweeping the country, and it's a card game called Like Mother, Like Daughter. This game is powerful.
My favorite question was, if you could parent me all over again, what would you change? This card game has a mother deck and a daughter deck, so we both have questions for each other.
These are some good questions.
Do you think I'm a people pleaser? If so, where did I get this trait from?
This card game actually helped my marriage, and the questions showed me that I still had unresolved issues with my mom, and I was taking them out on my husband.
If you don't do anything else, buy this card game. You won't regret it. Click the link below.
Like mother, like daughter, we are the same. You'll see when we play this game.
All right, hold on. Let me read the super chat real quick. Shout out to Nick Knack. Jesus is King. John 3:16. Drake, great channel, just found it. Cheers. I heard Nick Knack before. Nick Knack, are you somebody that was on Freezy's channel yesterday? Because I was watching his channel. Shout out to Freezy. And he was talking about the situation with the young boy that lost his life. And they were talking about somebody named Nick Knack. So are you the same person? Just checking. Just want to just check. So if that's you, shout out to you. If that's not you, shout out to you. All right, so let's keep going.
Anyway, fast forward to December of last year. I had just recently moved back down to Arizona from Northern California. Now I'm 55 years old. So, but I was coming back down to Arizona from Redding, moving back down here to Arizona. And this was December. Anyway, I got pneumonia really, really bad. The Legionnaire's pneumonia. And so Charlie sends me a text one night.
Hey, spiritual warrior.
Message. Now, these are what I'm telling you. These are all there's receipts for in his DMs and mine. I don't have access to my old account, but in his account, they're there. No doubt. So anyway.
Hold on, let me read this real quick. Oath Keepers is a full-on white supremacist group who was part of several white power groups who stormed the Capitol January. Is it a white? I didn't know that. Let me look into that. Hold on. I'm going to mute myself because I don't want to say nothing. Hold on one second. I want to check. So they may or may not be that, because it's showing that they may or may not be that, but it is an extremist group. So yes, to a certain degree, I agree or not agree altogether. Let's see. It's in, because it also says a civil rights organization frequently categorized. Oh, no. A civil rights organization frequently categorized them as an anti-government group. So, yeah, it may be, may not be. So I don't want to just put that on them, but yeah, you may have a point. May or may not be that, because I don't want to put that tag on a group that may actually be helpful. I don't know. Because if they are a white supremacist group, that would mean that Charlie Kirk was affiliated with a white supremacist group. So what is that saying about Charlie Kirk? So are Proud Boys, or so are the Oath Keepers? Okay, I don't know. That's why I had to Google it. I'm just going by what y'all are saying because I don't know. I just Googled it. I don't know. But my point is, if that is indeed the case, what does that say about Charlie Kirk? Because Charlie Kirk was very close to this guy, intimately close. Like he was like a father figure to him. And he was close to somebody that was part of a white supremacist group. So what does that say about Charlie Kirk? And remember, I lost a lot of subscribers because I said Charlie Kirk may be a part of some crazy shit also, because Charlie Kirk is the main reason why we got this idiot in office now. So I'm not necessarily a Charlie Kirk fan like that, because he's the reason why we got this stupid idiot in office. Him almost alone. I'm not going to say Charlie Kirk alone, but I would say 70% of Charlie Kirk's work is the reason why this stupid idiot is in office, Donald Trump. So if you are mad that Donald Trump is in office, it's 70% caused by Charlie Kirk. So if y'all like Charlie Kirk but don't like Donald Trump, it's because of Charlie Kirk. We would have had Kamala in office if it wasn't for Charlie Kirk. I'm just saying. So we got to make peace with that if we're going to be on the Charlie Kirk train.
Ready, moving back down here to Arizona. And this was December. Anyway, I got pneumonia really, really bad. The Legionnaires' pneumonia. And so Charlie.
So somebody said he was manipulated like everyone else was. You could say Donald Trump is being manipulated by Bibi Netanyahu, if that's the case. Do y'all agree or disagree? Because if everybody can easily be manipulated, we don't need to have none of these people as leaders. Don't you want a leader that is not easily manipulated? So somebody in the chat said, well, Charlie Kirk was manipulated. Okay, you can easily say Donald Trump is presently being manipulated. So does that mean we now like Donald Trump? No, Donald Trump is an idiot because he's easily able to be manipulated. But does that make Charlie Kirk an idiot because he also was manipulated by a person that's being manipulated? So if Charlie Kirk got manipulated by an idiot, which is Donald Trump, what does that say about Charlie Kirk? I'm going to move on, but I just want y'all to think about it. Can we just use the excuse of somebody being manipulated? Or we have to look at the person and say, no, they were too intelligent to be manipulated. And because of that, they did certain things intentionally.
Charlie sends me a text one night, a message. Now, these were what I'm telling you, anyway, I got pneumonia really, really bad. The Legionnaire's pneumonia. And so Charlie sends me a text one night, a message. Now, these are, what I'm telling you, these are all, there's receipts for. In his DMs and mine. I don't have access to my old account. But in his account, they're there. No doubt.
Gotcha.
So anyway, he contacted me, and he was very adamant about me helping him with security. And he was almost like, how do I put this? The way he was what I interpreted from reading what he was saying, I could tell that there was an urgency. He was aware that he was in danger, is what I interpreted, as how I interpreted it. And I told him, I said, well, hey, we just had the election. You know, I'm sick. We'll get together soon. Okay. Now, this is like right before Christmas time.
Gotcha.
Well, finally on January the 6th, I ended up going down to the emergency room at Australia, Banner Health, Australia, on 92nd Avenue, here in Phoenix, Arizona. Okay. And that's where they found out that I had the Legionnaire's pneumonia and stuff like that. So I told them, I said, hey, man, we're going to have to put this off because I'm really sick. So we were scheduled to meet in Phoenix on the 25th of January. Okay.
Timeline.
On the 22nd of January, as I'm still going through all this, a person that I had only met maybe for a couple weeks was a neighbor of mine, and him and I and my girlfriend at the time had dinner that night. Well, this was the 22nd, 2 days after Trump got into the office. Well, this guy and I had a heated conversation afterwards about politics. Okay, and he was a member of the academia. He told me he was a former police officer at one time. He was a professor at colleges. He told me that he had educated 400 plus teachers in the Arizona area. Yada yada yada. Anyway, the conversation.
This guy was your neighbor, you're saying?
Yeah, and I had only known him for, like I said, maybe 2 weeks.
Okay.
So a two-week long neighbor comes over
anyway,
his house.
And all I know is his first name was Mike. I don't remember his last name at all. Couldn't even remember.
Why'd you let
I
this
tried
man
to
in your
find him.
house?
But anyway, so the conversation got really heated. Well, he started talking about Charlie Kirk. And I said, well, you know, he's a good kid and stuff. And he goes, yeah, well, he's been slotted for termination.
Whoa.
I said, oh, really? So then the conversation really got heated. And he told me I had been slotted for reprogramming. So then now my antennas are up like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
There's another phone call that I had with Andrew Colvett where I was crying on the phone with him. I mean, I am talking maybe 72 hours max after Charlie was killed. And he was also upset on the phone. But he said something, and it's hitting differently the more that I think about it. He said, and I quote, "Candace, it was supposed to be you. It was supposed to be you." Now, at the time, I dismissed this as some sort of bargaining, right? That's an actual stage of grief. You do bargain. You wish that it was this person. You could trade it. Maybe you wish that it was yourself. And to be honest, I did go through that phase of bargaining with Charlie. Like, why didn't it happen to somebody else? This is a good person. Was Andrew trying to maybe communicate to me after, especially given the fact that I told you that while the actual day on September 10th, while Charlie was in the hospital, he told me that there was a list and that me and Tucker Carlson were on it and that we had to lay
slated for termination.
low, but he never told me who told him that. I never got a call from the feds telling me that. So I feel like these questions I have now are quite valid. Andrew, by the way, was not the only person who called me on that day and reached out to my family on that day with this warning, immediately cautioning me and Tucker to keep our mouths shut, telling us that we should lay low because there was a quote-unquote list going around. Another person was a very well-known woman who happens to be married to a CIA contractor. Same exact message. You and Tucker Carlson. But, of course, we cannot tell you who we are getting this information from. I'm starting to realize, as I consider who the sources are and their closeness to the military, and now that we've gotten into the story and realized that virtually everybody there that day has these military ties, that threat may have been coming from the government, actually. That the globalized government that we live under, right, LOL to the idea that we have a national sovereignty, may have wanted me and Tucker to watch our friend die. And then that global gang wanted us to know that you will be next if you don't shut up. Like, really, it was supposed to be you.
Okay.
So now we go back to this because it's all making sense right here, right? So let me back up a little bit to remind y'all about this part.
Started talking about Charlie Kirk. And I said, well, you know, he's a good kid and stuff. And he goes, yeah, well, he's been slotted for termination. I said, oh, really? So then the conversation really got heated. And he told me I had been slotted for reprogramming. So then now my antennas are up like, who the hell is this guy?
He says you have been slotted for reprogramming, and Charlie Kirk, this random ass neighbor, your neighbor, comes over your house and starts talking about a person that you see as your nephew or one of your sons, just somebody that you've known since he was 16 years old. And he comes over your house and says, this nephew figure of yours has been slotted for termination, and you have been slotted for reprogramming. And he's standing in your living room saying this. And make sure everybody right now, take a second and hit the like button. Somebody said the likes are extremely low. So everybody right now, hit the thumbs up button and hit the hype button. Hit the thumbs up button and hit the hype button. Everybody just take a second to hit the thumbs up button and hit the hype button right now. Take 3 seconds, use your thumb and hit the thumbs up button right now. All right. So let's keep going. I'm finna kick your ass if you in my house telling me that I'm slotted for termination. Who the hell you think you talking to?
Yeah.
Okay. The fight went down. And the ironic thing is, I ended up getting arrested.
So he gets into a fight with this neighbor, and he gets arrested, and the dude is in his house. That shit is crazy. How am I arrested? And he comes in my house talking crazy.
For quote unquote domestic violence. They charged me with a fucking misdemeanor.
Oh, so you got in a fight with the guy.
Yeah, I got in a fight with the guy because I didn't appreciate him. He was over at my house having dinner. Then he starts, talking all this.
Wait, why do you make dinner for a neighbor that you've only known for 2 weeks? Is that something that y'all would do? I don't understand. I have a neighbor. Hey, neighbor. Hey, how you doing? Come over. We talking or whatever. Invite them in. Cool. I'm not making you dinner. I don't know you. What the hell? Is that strange to you? Or is that just me? Put a 1 in the chat if you would make your neighbor, or no, put a 1 in the chat if you think that's strange. Making your neighbor dinner and you've only known, you don't even know him. He's just your neighbor for 2 weeks. You don't know him for 2 weeks. He's just your neighbor. He just moved in your neighborhood for 2 weeks. So would you make dinner for a neighbor that you just met? Is that a thing that I'm missing?
Crazy stuff about Trump, and then goes into Charlie Kirk and yada, yada, yada. Yeah, now I'm pissed off because I've known Charlie for a number of years. He's a good kid.
Yeah.
And so the fight goes down. Next morning, I'm arrested. So I'm in jail.
Somebody said, depending on if they're cute. Okay, I got it. So yeah, I totally agree. Because if I look out and I see some fine ass chick and she's my neighbor and I wave and she kind of like goes like this or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Flirty, a little flirty. And I invite her over. I'm like, oh, you just moved over there? Yeah. I wouldn't make her dinner. But these are 2 dudes. So even though I can understand that, these are men. So I don't think that's the case, because I would definitely make my neighbor dinner if she was cute and if it was a she, not if it was a he though. I'm not making no dude dinner.
Okay. That Saturday, the 25th, is when we were supposed to meet, Charlie and I. Okay. If you get into his DMs, you'll see what I'm talking about. It's all there. The receipts are there. But here's what the question that needs to be asked. One is this: what did Charlie know in December? What is it that he knew that he was so concerned that he had to reach out to me? Now, I had never done security for him. I had never done security for him at any of his rallies. Okay? But he knew who I was, obviously, over the years. He knew what I had done. I mean, when the Courtside Liberty Festival went down, hell, I had 3 different separate security teams there because I had dignitaries and so forth. Nobody got hurt. Nobody got shot. So he reached, that was the point. But he reaches out to me. So the question is what was it that he knew to make him reach out to me to help him with security? He even offered to pay me. I said, son, don't worry about that. I don't need the money. No, I wouldn't do that I wouldn't help you for money, And so anyway, so there's the first question. The second question is this: if that person said that Charlie Kirk, had been slotted for termination, Tyler may have pulled the trigger. What I'm saying is
what it sounds to me like is somebody that was in the know that knew that you were supposed to meet Charlie,
right,
made it a point to make sure you didn't go to that meeting. They were intentionally sent to where you were to rile you up and to get you arrested. That way you could not keep your meeting with Charlie.
That's exactly what happened. That is precisely what happened.
Okay, so now let me show you something else. Check this out.
I went back and reviewed hours and in the intro, I went back and reviewed hours and hours of past campus events because I wanted to see how they had historically orchestrated the campus events and historically behaved at the campus events and compare it to what happened at UVU. And after going back and rewatching hours and hours of footage, something dawned on me. Let me explain. There is a theory that what really caused Charlie's death was an explosive that was placed on his body, likely in the microphone. And later on in the video, I will discuss that further. But I was beginning to research that theory for myself, the exploding mic theory, and I thought, well, Candace had already released images from inside the vehicle being the one in which they transported Charlie's body after the shooting, and mysteriously there were those small black pieces of debris in the back of
which is the microphone that he had up on his shirt.
The vehicle where Charlie's body was, and it looked.
And if you look at the pieces, that means it exploded.
It's like that could be pieces of debris from an exploding microphone. And so I thought to myself, if this theory is true and that is what was in the back of the vehicle, the shrapnel from the exploding mic, maybe there was also some debris on the ground around Charlie where he had been sitting in this.
But they repaved the area.
Footage that Terrell has selectively shared with Candace, we can't see the ground where Charlie had been sitting. You're probably thinking, okay, so what? Well, I'll tell you what. Actually, I'll show you what. On February 28th, 2025, the American Comeback Tour did a stop at Florida State University, and here is the back camera shot. On March 3rd, 2025, the American Comeback Tour did a stop at the University of Southern California.
Oh, whoa. Do y'all see what I see? Let me know if y'all see what I see in this particular video. I'm making it bigger. Pause. What do y'all see that I see? This kind of goes against what Candace just said. Or does it? Let me know in the chat. What do you see that I see? I just want to see if we have the same eyes. Small mic. No. The mic is backwards again. That's not a small mic. That's the magnet holding the mic. The mic is inside of his shirt again. So the thing about it is, why Well, let's just look at this picture. All right. Couple things in this picture that stand out. One, the mic is backwards under his shirt again. Two, Charlie Kirk has a black shirt on, because some of y'all may not know, the only time Charlie Kirk ever wore a white shirt is the time he died. That's the second thing. A third thing is YRefi.com is on the banner back then also. So I love how she's showing different situations where he was touring and not just the last one. So it shows that YRefi was with him for a while, and two, he was wearing the mic backwards for a while.
California. And here is the back camera shot. Here's
Hold on, let me back up.
And here is.
So let's look at the back shot. Pause. Let's look at this. Okay. So he's on a platform. I didn't know a person was like working the switchers right next to him. Is there anything that y'all see that I don't see?
The back camera shot. Here's San Francisco.
Okay. Somewhat the same setup. And as you can see, because what she's trying to point out is that there's always been a wide back shot of Charlie, but in the UVU situation, there was not. But let me know if there's anything that y'all see that I don't see in these pictures, because this is some good evidence. And make sure to hit the like button. Make sure to hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button.
Here's San Diego.
Okay.
Long Beach, Boise, Idaho.
All right, let's look around. Just look around. Just want to see.
Washington State. Do you notice a pattern? They can't.
Yeah, I see the pattern. The pattern is they're showing back shots of him, but not this first time. I mean, not the last time. And as you can see, he's wearing a white shirt.
In this footage that.
See? Why is the angle so different in this particular time versus the other time?
Terrell has selectively shared with Candace, we can't see the ground where Charlie had been sitting. You're probably thinking, okay, so what? Well, I zoomed in after the fact. Day at UVU selectively shared the footage that Terrell, San Diego, Long Beach, Boise, Idaho, Washington State.
And as you can see, he's always wearing a black shirt. He's always wearing a black shirt.
Do you notice a pattern? The camera is a wide angle camera and was always used as such. However, in the footage that Terrell has selectively shared with Candace, you cannot see the ground. So either that day at UVU, they had changed things up and they had zoomed in the camera so that you couldn't see the area around Charlie, or Terrell had zoomed in after the fact and he was showing a cropped version of the footage to Candace. Either way, it gives the impression that they're hiding something. The other thing that you might have noticed.
It's a good shot right here. Every time he shows up, he has a black shirt on.
Is that they typically have the audiovisual team on Charlie's right and the security team on Charlie's left. I can show you clip after clip after clip after clip of Dan Flood being on Charlie's left. It is the right hand of the screen, but it would have been Charlie's left-hand side.
Interesting. Shout out to her. This is some good information right here.
And that was a setup that they had on this American comeback tour. But for some reason at UVU, they changed the setup and it was reversed. I have no idea why, but I do have suspicions. Did they change the setup because it was their planned escape route to the SUV? Or maybe it was to have a clearer view of the corner of the Losi Center building where the shooter was. Another anomaly I noticed was people's behavior that day. You have Hunter Kozak seemingly practicing his surprised face. I've covered that before on the channel. There is about 10 minutes of footage where you see him waiting his turn to go ask his question and he looks nervous. He was swaying back and forth rather rigorously and he looks nervous, just my opinion. And right before he asks his ever so ironic question, he looks in Brian Harpool's direction and touches.
You see that right there? He looks in Brian Harpool's direction and touches his glasses, and Brian Harpool touches his glasses back. Back up a little bit. Watch this.
He looks in Brian Harpool's direction and
right there.
touches his glasses, and I feel comfortable saying that this was a signal used by Charlie Kirk's security team. I saw Dan Flood do it enough
Boom. Look at it touching the glasses.
times at other campus events that I feel confident.
And we all know on Meta glasses, that is the record button. So apparently I'm looking at that as him hitting the record button. Okay, so let me elaborate on this. On Meta glasses, because I have Meta glasses myself, they only record for 3 minutes at a time. So there's a possibility that it wasn't a signal. He has to keep hitting the record button every 3 minutes because they only record for 3 minutes at a time. So I don't think that was a signal. I think he has to keep hitting the button to start the recording all over again because it only records for 3 minutes.
In my assessment that this was a signal for something. I don't know what it was a signal for, but it appears to be a signal for something. And Hunter Kozak also did it that day. It's very suspicious. And take a look at Dan Flood's body language here. His arms are by his side and he seems more alert than usual. And this stood out to me as an anomaly because here is Dan Flood at the University of Florida. Here.
All right, so hold on, let me back it up a little bit. I was messing with something. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button.
Day. It's very suspicious. And take a look at Dan Flood's body language here. His arms are by his side and he seems more alert than usual. And this stood out to me as an anomaly because here is Dan Flood at the University of Florida. Here is Dan Flood at the University of Southern California. And here is Dan Flood at the University of Tennessee. And what do you notice about Dan Flood's body language? He consistently stands in this pose with his arms folded at his stomach. Of course, he occasionally breaks from the pose, but this is the default position that he stands in. But the day of Charlie's assassination,
Yes. This is totally different. Totally different.
we see a period where his body language is entirely different from all of the previous campus events. His hands aren't up at his stomach, they're at his side. We also see him speaking into his lapel microphone and covering his mouth. That's not something he typically does. Say that Charlie Kirk was at UVU, he posed for a photo with this gentleman, Butch Hibbs. Butch is the brother of Pastor Jack Hibbs, and the Hibbs are a military family. Now, Baron Coleman has pointed out that there is something in Butch's pocket that appears to be the same size as a Rode mic.
You see that? That is 2 inches high and low by 2 inches right and left, and it's just short of 2 inches. I'm telling you.
And the girl, this girl's name, her name is Nisscee Social, NISSCEE.social. So make sure to subscribe to her channel. She's super dope. Her name is again NISSCEE.social, just to make sure.
It sticks off of his chest about, I don't know, 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch, and it's got these rounded corners on it. These are the dimensions of the Rode microphone. It is 46.4 meters high. This is the receiver, meaning this is the piece that's underneath your shirt. 46.4 millimeters high, 44 millimeters wide.
So the theory is that Butch Hibbs, this man with ties to the U.S. military, that he is the individual who brought the mic with the explosives in it. And
Okay. So now that we have that down, now let's talk about the main reason why we're here. Let's go back to Candace.
That it looks clean and we can just add another name every time a name comes up in any of these categories. If you just look over here at the columns, these 4 themes that I'm identifying, and I'm going to add more: Liberty University, Eastern Europe, trafficking and child sex abuse, and then in that final column, military. These are just themes that I recognize keep coming up. So Liberty University, very quickly going through this, Tyler Boyer attended.
I'm gonna do a part 2 of this, because we're almost an hour in. I'm gonna do a part 2 of this because I'm just realizing how much needs to be discussed because we haven't even gotten to the main event yet. So I'm gonna do a part 2 of this.
He graduated. Erika Kirk attended and she graduated. Cabot Phillips attended and he graduated. Mikey McCoy was accepted into Liberty University, but then he chose not to attend because he got the job at Turning Point USA instead, and he went direct there after high school. It should be noted that his father, Rob McCoy, met Charlie Kirk via Jerry Falwell Jr. He was the president of Liberty University.
And let's talk about this real quick. Jerry Falwell Jr. What is the significance of Jerry Falwell Jr. and Rob McCoy?
To ask Tucker for forgiveness for sharing this because...
No, that's not it. Hold on. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Is it this?
There's another phone call that I had with Andrew Cole.
Nope. Hold on. Where is the video? Is it this?
And then, you know, lo and behold, something doesn't really make sense, but you're kind of used to the thing that's not making sense, boiling the frog slowly. So we take a look at...
No, that's not it. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I thought I brought up this video because this is very important. The Jerry Falwell Jr. aspect of this is extremely important. So hold on. Let me do this. So let me take this out. All right, so let's go back to here.
Until there was a sex scandal.
So let me back up because this is very important. Rob McCoy and Jerry Falwell Jr. is a big aspect of this.
McCoy was accepted into Liberty University, but then he chose not to attend because he got the job at Turning Point USA instead, and he went direct there after high school. It should be noted that his father, Rob McCoy, met Charlie Kirk via Jerry Falwell Jr. He was the president of Liberty University. I have noticed some recurring themes that have come up. I didn't really know what all this means.
Okay, so this is what I was looking for. So listen to this. We're going to talk about Jerry Falwell Jr. and Rob McCoy and how that has a lot to do with this.
I still don't know what all of it means, but I wanted to start jotting this down and putting it together so that it looks clean and we can just add another name every time a name comes up in any of these categories.
All right, so let me fast forward. Yeah, this is it right here. Let's see.
With young children, taking them onto the military base. What spun out from Lori's charity was the Romanian Angels Project.
All right, not that. The Jerry Falwell part. Or is it? Okay.
Interesting. We can have a home for your child to be raised in. Seemingly triggered by a video.
All right, so this is the Jerry Falwell Jr. part, which is important, an important aspect to this.
Regarding Trump pageantry. Okay, the video in question is not controversial, and she has no connection to the person in the video, which was Erika Kirk, simply discussing how she got involved with the Trump pageant world. Hence why I was not exactly seeing the big picture. She doesn't know Erika. She had nothing to say about how Erika knew Trump pageants, but her speaking about it was triggering for her. Anyways, after a lot of back forth, I decided to just call her. I had some time yesterday to see why Trump pageantry in general was so triggering to her. And she began to tell me a story that was quite unbelievable at first until I did some research. This woman, whose identity I'm going to protect at this moment, was a young teenager in the 90s, and she had landed herself in a bit of trouble. She wound up with a probation officer, and she also got pregnant, and they essentially told her, hey, you know, you're either going to get your life together, sort of this ultimatum, we could send you to juvie, or you could go away and we'll give you an opportunity here. There's this amazing new program that's being run.
An amazing new program
run out of Liberty University, which helps troubled teens, which...
All right, remember, Liberty University. That's what she said right here. Remember, Liberty University. Hold on, right here.
We take a look at the audiovisual team. We know Terrell Farnsworth is running this team. He has for over 10 years. Terrell Farnsworth is one of the...
Wait, where's the video? Well, you heard her talk about Liberty University. I'll just go back to it because I'm confused. I'm confused my damn self.
You are a troubled teen. She was 13 at this time. So obviously they made the decision for her to take the option. It's like when the judge says, hey, you can go to rehab or you can go to prison. Obviously, I'm going to go to rehab. So she chose to go down to Lynchburg, Virginia, while she was pregnant, to live in a house with other troubled girls who were being helped through a program that was known as the Godparent Program. It still is a thing today. Effectively, they help these young women on who are struggling with various other things, but particularly with her and the women that she was sharing rooms with, their pregnancy journey. And they offer to help place their children into adoptive Christian homes, should they choose not to keep their children. Sounds nice enough. That seems like, the Christian spirit, pro-life, and don't have an abortion. Instead, we can have a home for your child to be raised in. But things got pretty weird after that. And I want you to listen to what she told me in this conversation, which I recorded. And yes, I have her permission to share this conversation. I'm sorry if this sounds, not too clear. We tried to make it as clear as possible. And let's just roll it. It's going to be quite long, but it's very important.
And I'm not going to play the whole thing.
Take a listen.
When I got to the Liberty Godparent home, which is what took me in 94, they used to lock us in our room 24 hours a day. We were locked in our room. We weren't allowed visitors. We weren't allowed people at our home. I didn't have no visitors because I didn't have no family there, of course. And I'm shaking. Hold on. I didn't have no family there, so I didn't have nobody. They used to take weird pictures of us.
How old were you?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
How old were you?
I had to be 13, 14.
Okay, and who took pictures?
79.
Who took pictures of you?
Senior. And then...
You heard it right. Jerry Falwell Sr. Jerry Falwell Sr. That's the reason why I'm playing this. Jerry Falwell Sr.
His face looked familiar, but he looks older now. You're talking 30 years ago,
Mm-hmm. But Jerry Falwell Sr. was the one actually taking the photos?
Yeah, I remember him and his wife there. But another thing weird about it is I never thought about, what happened the morning I delivered my baby.
So I'm going to get into this in my next live stream. But my point of bringing this up is what Candace talked about the other day. So I'm going to continue this on another live stream because I don't want to go off in the weeds. But I wanted to show you that Rod McCoy was introduced to Charlie Kirk through Jerry Falwell Sr. or Jerry Falwell Jr., one of the Jerry Falwells. Okay. And as you can see, Jerry Falwell Sr. was involved in some weird ass shit because all of these people look to help troubled teens, to help orphans. And that's their play. And that is the thing that is super weird. So, Girl Friday on Tuesday, shout out to you. Holy cow, Jerry Falwell Sr. is considered the father of Christian Zionism. I didn't know that. Let me, I'm going to make you a moderator. I don't know why I didn't make you a moderator already. So I'm going to make you a moderator because thank you so much for saying that. What is going on? All right, whatever. I'm working on it. Oh, here we go. Standard. Okay, so I just made you a moderator, Girl Friday on Tuesday. Thank you so much. So I did not know this. This is huge right here. So I need to make another clip off of this. So I'm just going to say this. Girl Friday on Tuesday just said that Jerry Falwell Sr. is considered the father of Christian Zionism. We need to look into this. All right. So I just wanted to make sure I did that so I can clip this little part out, not remove it, but to make a clip of it by itself. So listen to this.
I cannot take it. It's not possible. All of my homies are doing work in Eastern Europe, said ever. It's just not.
So here we go.
Where's he from? Is there going to be another connection here? What's he involved in as a Here we got Rob McCoy. We got everybody here is like the TPUSA faith. And so Phillips Goldsberry being raised by a pastor, just like I said, made me give an eye roll. But things got pretty interesting when we looked at, I guess, a little bit more about who his father is. Also, his name is Dr. Philip Goldsberry. So they have obviously this.
So the guy that put the mic on Charlie Kirk right here has a father that is a Jerry Falwell Sr. like person. So listen.
Next logical question is who particularly on Terrell's team mic'd Charlie? The answer is a young man named Philip Goldsberry Jr. Okay.
So here we're just seeing Philip Goldsberry clip it on a Charlie's shirt. Here's a few moments beforehand. We can see Philip Goldsberry has the Rode Wireless Pro microphone in his hand, and he's approaching Charlie with it. Talking to, it looks like Terrell Farnsworth. There it is in his right hand. You see that? That's the Rode Wireless Pro microphone. Now we're going to see Philip Goldsberry sneak from behind Frank Turek there, and you can see the lapel magnet and the microphone transmitter in his hand. See that? Transmitter in one hand, lapel magnet in the other. See that Philip Goldsberry secured it under Charlie's shirt next to the necklace.
We want to focus here on the person who mic'd him, Philip Goldsberry Jr. I was already aware that it was Philip Goldsberry Jr. who had mic'd Charlie. I figured that out pretty soon, whoever everybody was on the team. A tiny bit of digging into who he was.
And somebody asked me about the mother-son card game. I'm coming out with an app. So I'm listening to all the people asking me about different card game iterations. I have the mother-daughter card game right here, but I do have an app that is going to have every iteration of mother-son, father-son, mother-daughter, father-daughter, brothers, best friend app. So I'm going to have everything, all my card game iterations are going to be on an app. So look out for that. So I am paying attention to everything you guys are asking for, 1,000%. I have not forgot about y'all.
Things weird, and I.
Wait, what just happened? Why is this here?
I, of course, immediately rolled my eyes when I discovered that his father was a pastor, a reverend, who also happened to study psychology. You know, I just was like, okay, we get it. Everybody is a pastor. We got Frank Turek here. We got Rob McCoy. We got everybody here is like the TPUSA faith. And so Phillips Goldsberry being raised by a pastor, just like I said, made me give an eye roll.
Just like Rob McCoy is raising Mikey McCoy. So all these damn pastors have infiltrated Turning Point USA and knocked off Charlie Kirk. Not saying they knocked him off, but somebody knocked off Charlie Kirk on purpose. And everybody is some type of psychological Fort Huachuca military pastor.
But things got pretty interesting when we looked at, I guess, a little bit more about who his father is. Also, his name is Dr. Philip Goldsberry. So they have obviously the same name. That's his dad right there. He is a pastor in Arizona. And I asked my team to figure out just like basic facts. I'm like, where is he from? Like, is there going to be another connection here? What's
Jerry Falwell, William E. Blackstone, William Henry Heckler, and John Nelson Derby are considered the forefathers of Christian Zionism. Okay. But as you can see, Jerry Falwell is one of them also. So this right here is very, very important. And thank you all for saying this because I did not know this information right here.
he involved in as a pastor? And you guys, our connecting themes spreadsheet is probably going to grow a little bit longer. You're not going to believe me. Because back in 2006, when Erika was getting her teen Miss America crown under the Trump Miss Universal organization, Dr. Philip Goldsberry co-founded a charitable organization which began doing work in Eastern Europe. The organization would come to be known as Soder Global Ministries. And of course, they were in Ukraine. And of course, they were in Romania.
Romania.
To provide medical care to orphanages. I kid you not. I can't take it. I cannot take it. It's not
crazy.
possible. All of my homies are doing work in Eastern Europe, said nobody ever. It's just not possible. Look around, tag 10 of your homies, see how many people are doing ministry and work and helping Romanian orphans. This is not possible, okay? But this is who Philip Goldsberry's dad is, and this is a fact. We verified it. We have pictures. Now, despite starting to do work before.
So shout out to Angela. Angela said, I didn't get a notification today. It was actually shit off my shit off. So heads up to others to check. Oh, shut off. Okay. I don't know, and I just don't even care anymore, to be honest with you. YouTube has, because you already know, it's usually about 1,000 people in here, right? YouTube has been shutting off people's notifications, unsubscribing people. Like, I'm just going to tell you, last week, I was at 397,777 subscribers. Now I'm at 397,584 subscribers. So check whether you're subscribed to my channel or not, or subscribe to my channel if you're not. But see if you're unsubscribed and see if your notifications has been turned off. Because a lot of the people, not just me, if they're talking about this Charlie Kirk case, this Erika Kirk situation, people are getting unsubscribed and no notifications are being turned on for the people that are talking about this Charlie Kirk stuff. And it's happening with a lot of people, because I'm having conversations with people, other influencers in the freaking, in the background, and everybody is getting unsubscribed randomly. Like I told you, I got like over hundreds of people have gotten unsubscribed, and they're saying, hey, I had to resubscribe. So subscribe to my channel or resubscribe to my channel, and make sure to hit the notification bell, because I don't know why YouTube is targeting not just me, but people that are talking about this Charlie Kirk case. But we're losing views, we're losing viewers, we're losing subscribers because of YouTube. And I don't understand why YouTube would do this and make it where we're making less money, because YouTube makes a piece of this money along with us. So yes, I understand. Yeah. So she said she didn't get notifications today and it was actually shut off. So heads up to others to check. Yes. So make sure to subscribe to my channel or resubscribe, because I'm sick of this shit. But if I don't even be caring, I just come on live and just do my thing. I don't even worry about what's going on, because certain things are out of my control. So, I don't worry about things that are not in my control. I just go about my business. But yeah, it's a real issue, but I don't want to make this your issue. It's my issue. So, it is what it is. But make sure to resubscribe to my channel if you are. They unsubscribe me too, but I'm back. See, this is what I'm saying. So shout out to Willie. So resubscribe to my channel right now, or subscribe to my channel right now, because it is what it is. Shit is stupid, man. It's so freaking stupid. So going back to this story right here.
Tag 10 of your homies. See how many people are doing ministry and work and helping Romanian orphans. This is not possible. Okay. But this is who Philip Goldsberry's dad is, and this is a fact. We verified it. We have pictures. Now, despite starting to do work before 2010, they didn't officially file paperwork for their global ministries until 2010, right? 2010 being the very year that the Black Sea Rotational Force set up a base in Romania, which would subsequently be accused of
the transportation of tadpoles.
This is what landed Erika's Romanian angel.
Hold on, back it up. I don't want y'all to miss that part.
Force set up a base in Romania, which would subsequently be accused. Okay, but this is who Philip Goldsberry's dad is, and this is a fact. We verified it. We have pictures. Now, despite starting to do work before 2010, they didn't officially file paperwork for their global ministries until 2010, right? 2010 being the very year that the Black Sea Rotational Force set up a base in Romania, which would subsequently be accused of
the transportation of tadpoles.
This is what landed Erika's Romanian angels in some hot water online when they realized she was partnering with Colonel Otto Buscher, and Colonel Otto Buscher was the person who was accused of doing this, like setting up this base and
selling sex with tadpoles.
Okay. Here is their website, their current website, where they document their work in Eastern Europe. Like I said, I cannot make this up. 2005, again, before they had legal paperwork that we could find, it says they provided medical care in Albania through primary care clinics in baby nurseries and orphanages and schools.
See? Orphanages, schools, troubled teens, and shout out to she called me trash. That's crazy. She called me trash. I'm here, Mr. Let Go. Expose the bad guys. Your efforts are appreciated. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So listen to this right here. This is the problem with Erika, Kirk, and all these pieces of shit people. They all are into the same thing.
I cannot make this up. 2005, again, before they had legal paperwork that we could find, it says they provided medical care in Albania through primary care clinics in baby nurseries and orphanages and schools. Now, this isn't real. Do we all just got to get the sense that this isn't possible, that everybody around Turning Point USA Faith is involved in human sex trafficking organizations and in the region of Eastern Europe and
helping orphan babies.
Somehow, some way.
But they don't never want to help orphan babies in America. I want y'all to think about that. Shout out to the people who are helping orphan babies. But why are you in Romania helping orphan babies? There are orphan babies over here that you're from, in your own city, in your own state. Why do you got to go to Romania? Because their laws are different. They can do whatever the hell they want over there, and they can't do whatever the hell they want over here. That's why these people are pieces of shit. They're doing this shit on purpose.
It seems like they're crossing paths potentially, but they don't want to answer any questions, like Erika, about why I'm hearing from people that she's hanging out at the same office, model office, as Jeffrey Epstein, a woman that went down who was very close to Jeffrey Epstein because Eastern European models seem to be being trafficked through her firm. Does anybody find all of this to be very strange, that almost to the day that Charlie and Erika go on their first date is when Jeffrey Epstein goes down?
Whoa. Whoa. I missed that. It was so much information. I did not catch that.
Being trafficked through her firm. Does anybody find all of this to be very strange, that almost to the day that Charlie and Erika go on their first date is when Jeffrey Epstein goes down?
Oh, shit. I didn't know that. But all of these damn orphan baby, bro, it's crazy.
2019, I think it was August of 2019 that Jeffrey Epstein kills himself. I can't accept this as reality. I can't accept that all of these people didn't know each other and got together. Like, oh my gosh, me too. I was there in Romania doing stuff for orphans too. Oh my God, you too? That's so strange. How amazing.
And the thing about it is, this is what I'm talking about right here with Jerry Falwell.
Like 94, they used to lock us in our room 24 hours a day. We had to.
This is Jerry Falwell, Sr.
The Christian Spirit, and take a listen.
When I got to the Liberty Godparent Home, which is what took me in.
Liberty University Godparent Home.
In 94, they used to lock us in our room.
And according to some people in the chat, Jerry Falwell Sr. or Jerry Falwell Jr. is the godfather of this Christian Zionism mess.
24 hours a day, we were locked in our room. We weren't allowed visitors. We weren't allowed people at our home. I didn't have no visitors because I didn't have no family there, of course. And I'm shaking. I didn't have no family there, so I didn't have nobody. They used to take weird pictures of us.
How old were you?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
How old were you?
I had to be 13, 14.
Okay, and who took
pictures? 79.
Who took pictures of you?
Senior. And then his face looked familiar, but he was older now. And you're talking 30 years ago,
Mm-hmm. But Jerry Falwell Sr. was the one actually taking the photos?
Yeah, I remember him and his wife there, but another thing weird about it is I never thought about what happened the morning I delivered my baby.
They took her baby. So all of these weird ass pastors, and this is the reason why I am against church. I lost a lot of subscribers on my own because I started condemning church. But I believe in God. Jesus is king, but not church. I don't believe in church. Church is where they manipulate people, and they are running around taking people's babies. So let me show you one other thing that has a lot to do with this also. And I'm going to do another live stream because I'm just running across so much shit. You know what? I'm going to wait. I'm not going to play that video. I'm going to wait. I'm going to do a different video. But the father of the person that mic'd Charlie Kirk with the alleged explosive mic was in Romania with orphans, just like Erika Kirk, just like Jerry Falwell Sr. And remember, Jerry Falwell Sr. is the reason why Rob McCoy is affiliated with Charlie Kirk. So all of these people are meshed together, and they all took over Charlie Kirk's freaking company. If I can find it, I'm going to show you another person that has something to do with Turning Point USA that is running around helping baby orphans. Like, this shit is absolutely disgusting. Usually I can't find it when I look for it, so I'm not going to spend too much time looking for it. But I'm going to see if I can find it real quick. Nope, I'm not going to keep looking for it. But Rick Cutler is also on video talking about he's helping baby orphans in Nicaragua or some shit. So I can't find it. I got so many videos. But all of these people are doing the same thing, running around in these third world countries helping baby orphans. And according to the video that I just played you, somebody, because I don't want to get sued, is doing this to steal their babies and to traffic light them. And it's absolutely disgusting. So I'm going to do a part 2 because, like I said, I didn't know how much I needed to cover, and this is going to be more than an hour and a half. So I will talk to y'all later, but make sure to resubscribe to my channel if you have not subscribed, because YouTube is killing me and it's just freaking annoying. But I'm going to do part 2. So hit the like button, hit the hype button, resubscribe to my channel, and make sure to buy my mother-daughter card game. And an app is coming for all the other iterations of card games.
This just in, a new way of healing is sweeping the country, and it's a card game called Like Mother, Like Daughter. This game is powerful.
My favorite question was, if you could parent me all over again, what would you change? This card game has a mother deck and a daughter deck, so we both have questions for each other.
These are some good questions. Do you think I'm a people pleaser? If so, where did I get this trait from?
This card game actually helped my marriage, and the questions showed me that I still had unresolved issues with my mom, and I was taking them out on my husband.
If you don't do anything else, buy this card game. You won't regret it. Click the link below.
Like mother, like daughter, we are the same. You'll see when we play this game.
Everybody hit the like button. 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 If you got something to say, drop it in the comments. Don't be drop your city. What? Drop your city in the chat. What? Drop your city. What? Drop your city in the chat. Drop your city in the chat.